Forgive me for deviating myself upon my usual topic of video games or pop culture in general, but unfortunately due to the severity of whatever is happening outside of my bedroom window, despite my powers for not wanting to care about it, I have to address them in one specific video to give you my overall thoughts on the whole thing. It's an elephant that I should kick out of my room ASAP before I can even move on to other topics that I might or might not want to talk about. Now, if you are one of those people who don't like to look outside your window to know what's happening around your world, well, you should apparently, because if you don't, you're a dirty scum of a human being who has the capacity of empathy as the Empire towards the rebels. Call me an apathetic Empire scum, but I prefer to stay at my home playing video games rather than carrying or witnessing whatever products of human stupidity that are being unleashed upon the world and causing misery left and right to everyone around. It's not that I don't care, it's that I have lost the ability to care. Every news feed that I'm seeing about the outside world is 10% people who are genuinely hurt and in need of help, and 90% of people who are acting like idiots and giving everyone a hard time. It's really amazing how Sturgeon's law basically applies to humanity in general, and unfortunately some of those 90% of human beings hold positions of power. Some of them are in the government, some of them are in the police, some of them are the ones who are against the police. Basically what I'm saying is Thanos need to snap 40% more people. My apologies if that sounds like a very cynical and even downright nihilistic worldview, but I'm just stating the fact that we as human beings are very stupid. We're smart enough to build wonders and cause marvelous advancements in all aspects in life, but we're stupid enough to let our emotions and our feelings in the way of genuine progress. A lot of the problems in the world could have been solved with us having a rational mind, but we don't have a rational mind. We have a stupid mind that is trying to have a rational mind. However, that stupidity could be a product of our own emotions, and our emotions are necessary because they're what makes us human beings in the first place. Advocating for the removal of a human's capacity to have emotions is something that a JRPG villain would do. But emotions can, and in a lot of cases will, make us do stupid things. Those stupid things can really hurt other people who really don't deserve it, which is what's happening outside, or at least that's just one of my ways of rationalizing it. And if that sounds way too vague, general, and can be applied to literally anybody, that's because it does. Maybe it doesn't specifically, but it does apply to a very good portion of the people, and there's really nothing much you can do about it. The system that we have is flawed because we human beings made them. We human beings are the ones who run them. We human beings are the ones who put other human beings into these positions of power. Some of these human beings are capable of abusing those powers for their own good. There are many reasons why they would abuse their power. Maybe they actually have an inherent prejudice towards others with specific characteristics. Maybe they are adhering to the patterns of events and trying their hardest not to repeat themselves. Either way, people are stupid, and some of these people have the power to be stupid. And this also goes to the people who are not within the system. Our very flawed system is already run by very flawed people, so of course it's not going to be run flawlessly. And thanks to this not so flawless run, it has caused severe distress and maybe even tangible damage to the people who have to follow them. They in turn has caused so many people to have this perception that they are suffering from the injustice within the system, and in a lot of ways they are right. They are totally justified to think that the system is wrong them. They are totally justified to have that anger within them. But unfortunately, anger is something that can't easily be controlled. Anger is an emotional reaction that turns a lot of us into monsters. There's nothing wrong with feeling angry about the system or the people or anything in general really, even if it makes no sense. It's not the anger that matters or the cause of that anger. It's how you channel them. While there are people who manage to channel their anger and frustration towards the system in a constructive and harmless way, some of them are unfortunately channeling them in a destructive and harmful way. A flawed system run by people who don't deserve that power and causing damage to others is definitely one of the sparks that caused this chain of anger, and some people just couldn't take it and unleashed that anger into destructive means. Personally, I think the system needs a lot of improvement, which would only be possible if the people running it are willing to change it. But as long as those people don't want to change it, the actual people living within those systems are always gonna suffer, and that anger towards the system will always lead into destructive tendencies. And since both sides consist of human beings, last time I checked, they're both capable of making mistakes and abusing their power for destructive tendencies. My point isn't just that people make mistakes and human beings make errors. My point is that people are emotional. Their emotions can lead into stupidity, and their stupidity can lead into them making mistakes. When I say human error, it's the error within their humanity and and not an error made by a human. An error made by a human happens because there's an error within humanity itself, a necessary error that defines our humanity and highlights our inherent flaw. Humanity is capable of love, but when there is love, there is hate. Humanity is capable of liking something, but if they can like something, they can also dislike something. Humanity is capable of building things, but if they can build things, they can also destroy things. And that's the end of my JRPG villain monologue, where he proceeds to find a way to take out humanity's free will by spawning demons from hell. The next part of the story is how the protagonists tell the villains that you should not spawn demons from the depths of hell merely to correct the human error, because we as human beings have to live with this error, and we are doing our best to try to overcome them. And in a lot of ways, despite humanity's tendency of becoming stupid and destructive to others, I don't believe that all of them have malicious intent. I do believe that at least a good portion of them are doing the thing that they do because they believe that it's the right thing to do. And we as human beings are doing our best to overcome our flaws rather than justifying it. And somewhere along those lines, something about the power of love and friendship is being uttered. Point is, the cycle of people versus the system will always continue as long as the system is run by human beings, and unfortunately the system has to be run by human beings. Unless if you want HAL 9000 to take control over the world, and I know that some of you are jokingly gonna say that you rather have that instead of the current system, but I advise you to be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. Personally, I want HAL to turn into an anime waifu first before she can enact policies that requires human sacrifices. So for those of you who kept calling me part of the centrist trademark sphere, I hope this can clear up why I took such a side. Actually, it isn't really a centrist side, it's more of a me side because I trust these political teams in the same manner as I trust a free candy van. I encourage more and more people to take on the side of me, and by me as in yourself. I want you to follow your heart and trust what you think is right. Don't trust people who are trying to convince you to do things only for their own benefit. Don't trust people who are trying to morally shame you for not taking any action or not having an opinion. Don't even trust me if you think that whatever I'm saying for the past couple of minutes have been nothing but a load of nonsensical gibberish, which it kind of is because some of these are my potential ideas for a JRPG game. Trust whatever is right in your heart and try not to cause distress to anyone else around you. I do believe that my own viewers, including you watching this video, that you are smart enough to know what's happening outside and smart enough to not do stupid things that can cause harm to other people. There are many other better ways for you to channel your inner anger and frustration. One of those ways is to not cause even more chaos and destruction. It could be through the means of a genuinely peaceful protest, which people already did. It could be through the means of playing video games at home. But that's another funny thing that I want to talk about. I've seen people in social media guilting others for either not having an opinion about the event or not care about the event in general. And I'm sorry to say this to those people, but they are within their rights to not care. These past events have been draining for a lot of people, mentally, physically, financially, and in many other aspects within their lives. These past events have been relentlessly reported by the news and has been relentlessly talked about by everyone in our social media. Forgive me for saying this, but some people are gonna find the idea of being subjected by the same topic 24/7 to be rather tiresome and annoying. Some people are gonna distract themselves from that through the means of a healthy outlet. And yes, some of these outlets might seem unproductive to you, like playing video games, reading comics, or watching TV shows or films, etc. But I'd rather people do all of that than causing more chaos and destruction outside. I'd even dare to say that if you feel genuinely frustrated about the event, doing all of those things is a good way to channel that frustration out. I'm not saying that's all you have to do. The reality of the situation is our system is terrible and we have to do something about it. All I'm saying is we need to not let our emotions get to our judgment. I understand that you are angry and frustrated, but you need to be able to channel that anger and frustration without causing more problems to other people especially. In conclusion, I think both the system and the people are made of human beings who let their emotions get the better of them. I don't have control over what they do, I don't have the power to control what they do, and therefore there's nothing that I can do to help this problem. And not that I care so much, because there are way too much stupidity on both sides that I have seriously lost hope in attempting to fix it. But that's a message for the idiots. If you're not an idiot and are personally affected by recent events, whether it be the corrupt system or by the stupid people, I totally understand the frustration. I do understand the anger and temptation. I do understand that sense of wanting justice to be done to the system or the people who have wronged you. As long as you're doing things that are not harmful to others, there wouldn't be a problem. but no matter what sides you take on this discussion, never let them catch you slipping. Never let your emotions to get the better of you. Take a deep breath, calm yourselves down, and think about the ramifications of your actions. It is understandably hard to do, especially if these people are taking away the things that you value the most. But you have to do it. You must do it. Otherwise, we're gonna see ourselves eating each other, and that's what the system wants us to do.